So I've been it's morning time. Anyway, I was thinking about this sign I saw. It was a sign for a hospital, and I think it said practicing human kindness. And I thought that was a bit odd for a hospital to be advertising that sort of a sentiment. And then I saw a homeless guy, and the homeless guy was holding a sign that said, "Testing human kindness." So perhaps that word is just a sort of external viral meme right now, I don't know. But I've thought over the years of various sort of ways to address homelessness, or what is the correct stance to take towards homelessness as a member of Earth. And I've kind of I've changed my thoughts about the situation a few different times, because I feel like it's complicated. It's not just it's not a simple matter. There's not any simple fix. And there are so many different ways that you can look at what homelessness means, because it's a direct reflection on the society in which it exists. And it's a direct reflection on what sort of mechanical processes lead them to be not having the same resources as the homed. The ones who are practicing homefulness, those ones seem to have access to more resources than the ones that are practicing homelessness. And as to the hows and the whys, I'm sure there are similar storylines running amidst their ranks, but I don't think it's any one size fits all. Although I would go as far to say that probably most of these people have spent a lot of their lives sort of getting into trouble or burning bridges, or they had an unfortunate series of events that culminated in them being homeless. So it wasn't, I don't think it's not a simple thing. And I doubt if you asked a homeless person, if when they were 10 years old, what sort of vision did they foresee for their life that lay out in front of them, that very many of them would say, well, I would love to be homeless. I expect I can make that goal by the age of 30 or 35 if I really push. although there are some homeless people that enjoy being out from under the thumb of the man and the sort of maniacal, frenetical scurrying that they see everyone around them repeat ad infinitum every single day, same old thing, day after day after day. They're probably bored as well, because they get to sit there and hold their cardboard sign all day and try to find some perhaps try to find some differentiation, even something interesting happening within their own lives, because most of the people holding signs, they either look sad or they look bored, and some of them are, you know, a bit loony, and they're dancing around and smiling and waving at everyone, and those guys probably make more money than the other ones, because they're making the drivers feel happy. Because the main feeling that homelessness provokes in passersby is guilt. And homeless people probably know this. Well, I know they know this, because some of them get belligerent if you don't give them money. It's a direct reflection, though. Homelessness is a direct reflection of the system in which we live. They are the lepers of our society. They're the misfits. They're the outcasts. San Francisco is full of them. There are certain spots here that there are tent cities, or there are huge congregations of just people on the streets. Yeah, these humans are just all at various levels of disillusion, degradation, everything that, and you know, they, as far as living in a dualistic sort of place, they do provide contrast for the rich folk, and they provide contrast for the notion that cleanliness is good, and so on and so forth. So there is that simple duality aspect to it, and it's not necessarily possible to just eradicate. See, like, we're in one of the, this is one of the areas right here. And the funny thing is this is, see, there's a huge there's a huge concentration of homeless people around these massive government buildings. It's kind of ironic. And the problem with trying to help homeless people, outside of simply giving some change here and there, the problem with it is if you try to create a movement and try to get other non-homeless people in on the movement, because that's what's necessary, you're asking them to introspect into their own worldview. And if you say something like, we as a people are responsible for all of the people that we see or that are in our city, then if you know, the ones you were trying to get in on the effort have had they have a stance about homelessness and rationalizations for why the homeless people deserve to be homeless, and then you come around and say something like, well, maybe they did do something that ended them up there, but maybe we could provide them better possibilities for not being homeless if they so choose. Not that you would force people out of homelessness, but they would be given more of a fighting chance, kind of like the prison system in California. It's pretty well known that it just cycles people in and out, and they become ostracized once they get their first ding on their record, and that becomes a way of life for them, and it's also a source of pay for prison guards and cops and all this. So they are mutually supportive of one another. Law enforcement is mutually supportive of law breaking because that's what gives them their salaries. They don't get paid by people driving nicely on the streets. Anyway, it's getting too philosophical, but the whole point of this video was I've had various ideas for creative ways to involve ourselves with homeless people. And today I was thinking that the reason people don't sort of, you know, open their arms to the homeless people as simply other humans that could use a helping hand, I feel, is that they don't know them. They don't know that person. And this has been tested in sort of experiments. If people know somebody, then they tend to help them out more. So my idea was to create a website. Doesn't matter what it's named, but the homeless people would become a part of a network. Just like every single username you ever have online, you're a part of a network and you're entitled to certain benefits by being part of that network. Like if you're, like I'm a member on some chess sites, so I'm entitled to benefits. I can play, I can comment, I can read articles, I can watch videos, and so on and so forth. So if you had the homeless people carrying a sign that said, get to know more about me, www.whatever / and then the homeless guy's name / Bob, right? And it wouldn't be saying donate or anything, it would just be saying get to know me. And he could possibly even be holding a regular old cardboard sign as well. And then you would just... And because what has to be acknowledged is that there is a level of stigma that's attached to getting yourself intimately involved with homeless people. There just is. Every single family in this society has stigmas about everything, about doing this, that, or the other, or getting what all the members are getting themselves involved in or not. And it's a big drama fest behind the doors. So the point of this would be that they're not having to get their hands dirty, so to speak, because you wouldn't have to donate with a name attached unless you wanted to, and all the website would be doing, and it would be a sort of a neutral, it wouldn't be biased towards any philosophical ideas about homelessness or not. It would simply be a site where if you see a homeless person holding a sign that says get to know me better, and it's, you know, it would be like a real sign, like a professionally made sign. They can't be too expensive, and it would just have like a link, and you'd go to the link, and of course this would require some background work. So somebody would have to be speaking with these people and getting a bit of their life story, some pictures, you know, things, of course, to make it interesting. And I'm sure all of them have some sort of interesting things going on. It's not all train wrecks are beautiful in some sense. But you would go click on the link and then say, hey, there's Bob. Okay, Bob lives in my city, so let's learn more about Bob. And then you go find Bob. You know, Bob had a promising life as a professional football player at whatever UC college, and then Bob basically had a knee injury that destroyed his hopes and aspirations to become professional, and he was ready to get over it. You know, he was ready to heal and stay true to the course. And then Bob was prescribed some opiates to deal with his pain while his knee was recovering. And then Bob started liking the opiates, and he didn't realize what was happening at first, but then he very slowly, gradually started noticing that he was taking more and more. And you know, that whole story that unravels, and some people, it's an innocent sort of thing like that, where they weren't even going out and looking for drugs, and then all of a sudden they get this artificial feeling of happiness, and then they start thinking, well, what other artificial forms of happiness can I get? And they look into other things, and they take other things. And then Bob blinks, and he wakes up in the Tenderloin with, you know, in a dirty sleeping bag. So that story about Bob would just simply be on the website. And, you know, that would be it. And if then there would be an opportunity to donate something, you could ask Bob, what do you need while you're out here on the streets? What would you like to have? And then on the site could be a list of things Bob might need or want. And additionally, there would be a place to donate money if you wanted to Bob, and you would have to set up ways for him to access that, but it would be his. And he would be thusly reconnected into the web of society, albeit through a impersonal platform such as the internet, but it would be better than not connected at all. And I don't say all this with any sort of idealistic thoughts or hopes that it would actually happen, or would happen in a way that would actually ease homelessness or not. I don't know, but it's seems plausible. My new favorite word, plausible. Maybe not probable. I gotta go. Bye.